Hello, this is Rubik's, and I am going to be continuing my story, Gamer's Guide to Ever After. As usual, the previous recordings in the description below, and without further ado, let's get right into it. So this chapter, chapter 9, is called Prepared to Live. So, the four of them wait a few agonizingly long seconds, grappling with this recent turn of events. And switching back over to Glitch's perspective, dot dot dot. It's all gone begins to play. My eyes soar across the room, searching for all those mundane tankies I created to beautify our little shelter. While I knew that me and Esther weren't going to pack much with us to begin with, it still felt like my heart was torn from my chest. It's as the saying goes, you really don't know what you have until it's all gone. If there was anything I could be grateful for in this situation, at least Aster's creation somehow managed to survive. I summoned my inventory UI and skimmed through the options until he going to flip me a sketchbook for me. As I started flipping through these pages, tears welled in my eyes as I drank in these half-empty drawings. All these animals that used to be animated and jolly with life, and the various habitats I drew were devoid of life, like all drawings should be. And the reader would then see this graphic. Okay. Dot dot dot. Rest in peace, King. You're the last creature I ever have beyond her drawing. Brother, can you still cast magic? My sister cautiously asks, like they were afraid to step on a landmine. My eyes align with that glass of water standing on the nightstand. I bind one hand over my wrist and attempt to manipulate it to shape water. Nothing? Fucking A, man! I shout without restraint. I start pulling my hair in all sorts of directions and bigger. All my fucking spells too? This fucking blows, dude! My thoughts begin to spiral as an epiphany inhabits my mind. I can feel my heart throb as I mutter, "Where's Pablo?" My sister sniffles. He tried protecting us. He sent a missile that nearly blew up that witch, but our carnation detonated off course and sent it flying into that Enigma's tank. When I carried you back to our room, I caught a glimpse of those backstabbing fucks tackling him over his dirt tower, but I don't know where him or Loki are. Those dreaded goosebumps enveloped my skin. Loki, raising my voice, I asked, "Quick, do either of you know a locator spell?" Say less. Say less. And the reader would then see this graphic of Meadow's eye banner frame. Then Nova's eyes begin to shimmer with a pale white light. We held our breaths, deluding ourselves with fuzzy premonitions of good news. "No, I see both of them," she mutters. "They're being kept in a prison 60 feet below the kingdom. Loki's in terrible shape. Way worse than when he was brought out on stage. And as for your little brother, his shell is cracked all over, but he's still kicking his feet and twirling his hair over a bench." A wave of relief washes over us as we see her irisless eyes squint before an astonished hand claps over her mouth. "Meadow," Nova murmurs with this anonymity in her voice. "I think we've been here before. It looks like they're in the cell that used to be across from yours." Meadow's shadowed pupils flinch with remembrance as she slides off the bed and retreats to Asta's desk for a pen and something to write on. The writing utensil dances along the page, each stroke brisk, delicate, and precise. All three of us swung off the bed and peered past Meadow's torso, but before I realized I was still half naked. I swung the shades over my boxes and rushed in my closet to change. And when I re-emerged from our dressing room, I watched as Metta's hand rose to a container of colored pencils as she plucked a red one from the bunch. Brimming with confidence, she draws a circle over this castle layout she inhumanely sketched out in under a minute, and the reader would then see this graphic. I could feel a meaty hand firmly squeeze my shoulder. "Glitch, Esther, the two of you must leave tonight. You can't risk missing the one train in this shithole that visits at this time of year. Find them and have that miracle guide you to the train station. Then her eyes direct towards Esther. Your stepmonster will not expect you to leave Paradiso so soon. At least, not with a state she expects your brother to be on. Those words felt like icicles prying against my skin. Speaking of, I began. What happened to my wounds? I healed you, of course. Nova! I yell at the top of my lungs. You can't just put yourself at risk like that. Didn't you get her message? I know, she cowers. Then she raises her voice against me. But how could I just leave you in that sorry state and do nothing? And not do anything? I slide a distressed hand through my bangs and become wide-eyed. God, dude. You're so stupid. You know, she replies without a hint of regret. She fixes a smile at Meadow and expresses, me and Miss Girl are going to do something even more imbecilic in a few minutes. The air felt opaque as she declared this. So here's what's gonna happen. Wait for me and Max to detonate the bomb like we originally planned, only this time, I'll stay behind and lure all those pesky ants from the prison to our location, while you two find a way to sneak in. It wouldn't faze me if some goofy owl decides to stay behind, but in any case, do what you gotta do. My brows knit with suspicion as I demand, hold up. The fuck you mean stay behind? Nova taps a contemplative finger on her chin and responds, we'll stay behind to get the army's ass, that's what. What? Esther rises into a frenzied screech. No, forget the stupid plan. You can't just put yourselves at any more risk than you already have. And Nova cracks a smile of deafening reassurance and declares, don't worry. Me and Meadow can handle ourselves. I've probably got one of the best bodyguards in the kingdom defending my ass, and I got hers too. Besides, she then clamps her fists together as these Gucci-encrusted gauntlets glimmer over them. I'd be staining the old fart's reputation if even his best disciple can't handle even an entire army of guards. And whoo mama! When the gods step in, let's hope they live to tell the tale of Meadow and Novalia Ali's wrath. Meadow draws her foot back, and she holds a heroic stance with her frying pan. Then it begins to mechanically unwind itself into the shape of a great axe that barely towered over her body. That look in their eyes, it glimmered with this sort of bravery. Not one that was prepared to die, but rather one that was prepared to live. I studied Az's side profile, and just like me, they still weren't convinced. Before Nova booped us both in the forehead. Now, don't you worry your pretty little heads over what might happen to us. Just promise to have each other's backs, and all will be in good faith. But if you guys get caught, Esther intercedes, what'll happen to the kick-ass rebellion you were planning? Noah sighs and trades eyes with Meadow. Well, that idea aside for now. I still want a chance to settle the score with that butterfly-ass bitch. There lingers a bitter silence in the air as I shakily mope. Is there really no way the two of you can leave with us? Stars. Come on, breathe in, you two. More of us tightly embrace one another over Esther's bed. Nova's menacing gauntlets loom over my weak spine as Meadow drops her 7-foot axe on the floor. And Nova continues, you and Meadow get so pent up with rage every time we think of what those fuck-ass gods have been saying about the two of you. So do us a favor and let us have this. In this fucked up reality, Nova and Meadow were the only friends in the castle that stuck their necks out for us no matter what the circumstances were. Ever since my sister took the blame for my insolence, every person we used to consider our friends would avoid us as they fed into those nasty rumors about the Joy-Con siblings. And you couldn't help but love and hate them for it. Now, we're saying goodbye to those two kindred spirits you treasured so dearly. Almost as if she heard that strange voice that sounded really Hispanic in my head. Nova firmly states, now, this isn't goodbye. Esther exhales softly, while I wipe the side of my face with a clenched fist. Damn right it isn't. That was a promise. as we slowly, but all the more reluctantly, pull away from each other. Meadow tugs on Nova's sleeve and cocks her head at the two of us. Nova's eyes light up with remembrance as she declares, I nearly forgot. I believe Meadow here has something for the both of you, and I might have left a little something inside there as well. Meadow reaches inside of her coat pocket and places a solid book in my hand. And the reader would then see this graphic. Meadow's parting gift. There's a tiny note attached to it that says, "For the besties." Something on her wrist also caught my eye, since why does she have that cute looking friendship bracelet? My intrigued fingers curl around the cover as I proceed to open it. Suddenly, Meadow thrusts an intrusive hand over mine, silencing my curiosity, and Nova chips in for her and utters, "Hey yo! Don't read it yet! Read it after we've left the room." She then heaves herself from the bed and cocks her head towards the door. Come on, Max. The season finale of Regal Forever is airing tonight, and I'm not about to miss that juice-delicious confession scene, and the door clicks shut behind them. Mister rests their chin over my shoulder and says, "Open it." And time skipping here a bit. The morn 1,000 flora and reincarnations ring, Meadow's Au Revoir begins to play. Hey, how long has it been since you've read this? Novalia is beside me, working on something while I'm writing this letter to the two of you. If things go according to plan tomorrow, I hope our gifts manage to reach you safely. A massive explosion can be heard somewhere in the kingdom as an alarm begins blaring. Not a second later, the Joy-Con siblings take to the halls. Did you decide to accompany Loki to Inferno? Or did you carve out your own path and live inside another realm? What's it like on the other side? Is it everything you'd hoped for, if not more? The two of them shimmied through the vents and peered below them, hearing guards bark orders to each other. We've received orders! They need backup! They wait until every last footstep peters out of earshot. Just to be sure, Glitch pulls out an intricate spyglass that hangs from the vent and scans the perimeter. Making note of the two guards, Aster begins to unscrew the vent as it pops open. Unfurling their red threads, they feather the fall as it lightly clunks over the concrete. With the intent of landing stealthily, Glitch forgets they could fly as they faceplant over the floor and drawing unwanted attention their way. There are a million things I wish I could ask the two of you, just as there are a million thank yous I wish I could say out loud. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for sharing a piece of yours with me. Without hesitance, their sister shifts their parasol into gun mode and fills their dilemma with bullet holes. Grieved with sin, their hands begin to tremble over their first kill. Do what you gotta do. The space feels dizzy from all the dancing alarm lights. So this is where Dad has been keeping his war prisoners, Glitch murmurs. A prison filled to the brim with hibiscus and marigold kind, with a daunting variety of other demi-blooms that must have seen freer days. Their colorful eyes study them with a tone of astonishment and envy. I don't know what'll happen to me or Novalia tomorrow, but please, don't worry about us. We'll fight every day of our lives to erase the rebellion that'll quake the 6 thrones. So for now, hold your heads high for us, alright? This little circle we created has always felt like a home to me. In my past incarnations, I'd never known what home was like before I met the three of you. Aster displays her hand against the bar of his cell and peers inside. Their eyes meet with a hibiscus who is covered in scars from head to toe. They desperately yearn to pick every lock in that prison, but there isn't much time. The Guardians could come back at any second now. Glitch tugs her sister's wrist and points towards cell 32CE on the bottom floor. And truth be told, I've always been afraid for the day you'd leave us. But as your best friend, I couldn't be any more happy to see you fly high. There were wrinkled splotches over the sentence. Was she crying? I hope there comes a day where you can find a home of your own, too. They happen upon the cage, hosting their brother and Loki. The egg springs from a hanging bench and nudges itself against Loki repeatedly as he pries one eye open. Esther picks the lock open as the siblings escort Loki out of his cell. Even if you had driven away from future homes, never stop questioning. Esther hands the marigold a feather as it sinks into his shadow. Loki's body becomes enshrouded inside a black mist as the four of them feel their bodies become light and fluffy. They soar past the prison cells as a million arms extend from their bars and cry, "Take us with you! Don't leave us here! Stay safe, drunken siblings." Even if you forget how to love yourself, me and Ovalia will always be here to do it for you. More tears watches. And don't you dare exchange who you are to fit in. Those familiar black horns sprout from Loki's head as he rams himself into the ceiling several times. Then, without warning, their bodies take a hard left as Loki bursts through its stained glass portion of Revere. They break through the skies and fly over the castle walls of Paradiso, bobbing and weaving from the fireballs and arrows that try to strike the four of them down. And wind begins to play. As I cling onto my last strand of consciousness, I could see them above this roof. The guards must have deemed the weird black blob in the sky a threat to the kingdom. Nah. It was just four innocent kids that happened to be born inside the wrong realm. From here, I could see them tasting the crisp air of freedom as it breezes through their hairs and flutters through their clothes. Those rain clouds that covered the skies earlier are no as you've seen. Since when did the forecast say that we'd have clear blue skies? I must also bid farewell to all those souls hurting in Paradiso while I'm away. For their sake, I hope they serve fried chicken at tonight's banquet. Please, remember to take care of each other, and don't forget to floss your teeth. Your friendly neighborhood mute, Meadow. P.S. Tell your little brother I think he's pretty cool, too. And the reader would then see this graphic. Attached is a photo the four of you took on the beach near Paradiso's border. Innumerable moments sealed behind a single Polaroid. You and your sister were using your fly to appear in unique corners of the frame, and you finally remember how blood was rushing in your head the entire time and how you got a migraine afterwards. Your sister, on the other hand, lost balance and crashed right into Nova Meadow after the photo was taken. The four of you laughed about it in the sand. This moment was taken at such a horrific angle that Nova wanted to get rid of it at the time. Keep it, Meadow wrote. No matter how bad a photo looks, it's memories behind them. It's the memories behind them that matters most. Also because it looked silly. Uncle Kronos took this photo. Scribbled at the bottom was completely different handwriting. BT Dubs, I love the two of you, a little something something on the other page. Sorry for the late birthday gift. The reader would then see this other graphic. You've obtained a pair of blue and red friendship bracelets. Oh, there's something else below it. PBS, me and Meadow have matching ones too. And yeah, that will be the end of that chapter, but hopefully catch you in the next one. Bye. Bye.